Welcome to the Courage Barbell Unlimited podcast with your host, legendary powerlifter and strength athlete, Chad Ikes. For most, the journey of strength starts in the gym, but should inevitably expand through all aspects of life. Join us as we discuss all things strength. Now, here's your host, Chad Ikes.
Hey everybody, today we have another special guest because all my guests are special because I asked him to be on. We have Tony Carlino, Sir Bench a Lot, and it's kind of interesting. We talked a little bit before we came on. The last time he was on was like 3 years ago, and I don't even remember what episode it is, but this is going to be episode 99. So like this, it kind of reminds me how long all this has been going on, and how far it's been, and being kind of an antisocial person. I have a lot of people that I really like, but we don't get to talk to that much because, life's busy. Everybody's busy. And Tony's one of those guys. We got along really great. The last episode was awesome. And I've been following all his social media and stuff and how everything goes. So thanks for coming back on, man. It's been a long time now.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me. It was fun last time, and I'm sure we'll have a blast this time. I'm looking forward to it.
So I was looking through your open powerlifting, and I know open powerlifting is not super accurate. Like for me, there's a bunch of meets they don't have on there.
Mm-hmm.
But I was looking, and you started, because I was like, when did he start again? And it's like did you start in 2012? Was that actually your first meet?
Yeah, December 2012 was like December 10th or something.
Yeah, and you just missed a 396, but started with the 374.
Yeah, the record, it was like a USAPL meet I jumped into like 2 weeks out, and the record was like 402 at 220 or something.
Oh, you were close.
Yeah, I had to cut weight, and I didn't know how much it would take out of me just to cut 5 pounds the same day weigh-ins.
Yeah.
So I'd hit like 405 in the gym at that point, but so I wanted to go for the record, but it wasn't there, and then not even like the 396, but the 374 was there, and it got me hooked.
Like, what was so you were like 20, you were in your 20s, you were like 23,
24. My birthday's in January, so just before I turned 25.
Dude, I'm January 26th.
Oh, nice. I'm January 13th, 13 days.
What was your background going into that competition? Like, did you have a sports background? Were you at least experienced in competing, or that was just like, hey, I want to do this?
Yeah, I played basketball growing up my whole life. 9 or 10 years I played basketball through until I graduated high school. My senior year is when our coach like made us work out.
Yeah. And
I was gaining and getting stronger and stronger and bigger, like quicker than a lot of the other kids I noticed. And it kind of got me hooked there. I think I started at like 138 pounds. I don't know what I left with, but I remember I gained enough that the teachers were asking me if I was on steroids. They'd bring me to the side in the hallway and they're like, are you on stuff? Well, I was like, no, my body's just responding well. So after high school, I decided to pursue it, just stay in the gym. I didn't pursue powerlifting for graduated in 2006, so another 6 years.
That's kind of fascinating because you think, man, it's interesting. I love learning people's stories. So you were like this 130-pound kid. Who in the hell would have ever thought you would bench 1,200 pounds?
No, I know, right?
I mean, that whole journey is just amazing.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm sitting at like 280 now. I remember when I was 185 pounds. I remember going into like a job interview, and this guy was like, "Oh, you lift weights?" I was thinking I was like feeling pretty big, and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm like 185. I'm like, looking back, it's so funny to look back at those times.
It totally, I find, because I'm down to during this whole process of moving and living in my trailer and stuff, I'm like, man, I just want to stay under 300 and in somewhat kind of shape. Once the gym's back up, so to me, 300 is I'm skinny. I'm 300 pounds. I'm a little,
yeah.
Like my whole realm of reality has been tweaked now after being a powerlifter for so long.
Yes. Yeah, it's tough because I dropped weight a couple years ago just to I wasn't like competing, life stuff was happening and stuff. So I dropped like 255, and that's not like tiny. I'm 5'7", but I felt so small. I was like,
Yeah.
I hate this. I tell Shelly all the time, I feel dinky. I feel like, I'm like, I can't do this. I hate it. I need
Oh
to
my
get big.
God, I'm down to do a 3X t-shirt. What the shit? So what was interesting as I was looking through your open powerlifting, and I wanted to talk about this too, because back in my day, I don't know if it was because of the different I don't know why exactly, but it was always like, hey, if you're going to do single ply, then you need to do single ply. And if you're going to do multiply, or if you're going to do raw, like there wasn't a lot of guys jumping around.
Hmm.
And you seem to be able to, like, you do all kinds of different stuff. And even when I was looking at your beginning stuff, it was like, okay, raw, single ply, raw. And like you were able to jump around. And even now, watching your Instagram stuff, like you seem to be able to go between single and double and all that stuff pretty easily. Do you think that's because like some of the changing in gears? Like I've had a couple guys tell me that nowadays single and double ply doesn't really feel that different. It's just that they know double ply is probably not going to like explode on them.
Right. Yeah. I can go between the band and single, multi, triple pretty easily. The single and the double or triple plies aren't honestly really any different to me. It's just the single ply is a lot tighter. Um, I wear some tight multiply stuff too, but yeah, jumping back and forth doesn't really bother me, thankfully. But in my training, I do it. I'd like to structure it like band shirt one week, poly the next, raw or like a slingshot the next, and kind of do that routine. It doesn't always follow or fall in that line, but
Right.
that's the idea. So I'll jump in between shirts. Like last session, just Tuesday, I did poly for a few sets, jumped in the band shirt for a few sets. Um, so I just like to stay up to date, I guess, for my body in these shirts, not to get too far into one or the other. Because I think each one helps the other in some aspect. So it's good, and I like it. I like it all. I love doing
That
all
was
of it.
going to be
So,
my next question. Do you think, because I've told raw guys before, I'm like, listen, using a slingshot or using a shirt isn't necessarily a bad thing for you
yeah,
because you can overload, stress your system, get your central nervous system used to heavier weight. That when you go to raw, it could actually end up being a benefit. Not to mention, I always found shirts like if I throw on a shirt, I'm going to hammer my triceps because that
oh yeah,
top end, I'm going to be so much heavier at that top end, even with the help of the shirt.
yeah, exactly. I remember when I trained, when I did for the that 1200, I was just in a band shirt like every other week. And I never trained raw. So every other week was in the shirt. Every other week was like a slingshot or a figure eight. And then after that meet, like the week later, I hit like a 10-pound raw PR in the gym on my bench, not training raw bench at all. So there is something to it, if the raw people, if they want to throw in a slingshot, I think it'll definitely help. It won't hurt at all. And
Yeah.
keep the body a little bit more protected too.
That was interesting because you're still in your career. I'm done with mine basically, so I get to look back at things, and we maybe once a year, maybe twice a year, we would be like, hey, let's go full raw today, because normally, I would work up to something heavy, but then it's like, hey, today's about my shirt. Like I got to get my shirt on it and do my shirt, or we might do raw heavy 3 or 4 board or something.
Right.
But once a year or something, it's like, hey, let's screw around, and see where our raw's at.
Yeah, I do
My
the same
raw,
thing.
my raw always went up.
Yeah.
I mean, at one point I was benching 600 raw, and that was like just once a year, like, hey, let's go up to it. And I think I did 500 for 10 one time. And it was like, I never did that. That was just like a weird off day to go, hey, I wonder what's happening. So like, and it's like, well, if you're getting strong, you're getting strong.
Yeah.
Is your raw optimal if you're not training it? Maybe not, but I mean, it seems like in some way they all link together.
Oh yeah, I believe so too. Yeah. The only thing for me is when I don't do raw much and I'm in like mainly a poly more often, like I get like little tweaks in my shoulders or outside pec area, so I have to kind of be careful there. But sometimes if I'm feeling good, kind of like you, like once a year, I'll be like, let me see what I can do raw.
So
I was thinking about
you get the tweaks when you do start going raw, or if you don't go raw.
if I don't go raw for a while and then jump straight into like a
Oh,
heavy.
I got you. Yeah,
So yeah, not all the time, but I always feel a little something. I don't, take my time to build up those little stabilizers or whatever
yeah.
it is to. But that's it doesn't happen a lot, but it's happened. It happened before my 1,000-pound poly last year. I was going like 605 neutral grip to a two board. I was going to go for a double because everything was feeling so light. I was like, oh, I'm going to do this. Throw my shirt on. Went down to a two board, which I thought would be safe, and ended up tweaking my pec. So it might have been like a minor tear because there was a little bit of bleeding, but nothing too serious because I ended up being able to compete in the meet and do good. But
Yeah, I think that when I look back at my career too, I think that's another thing that you just mentioned, like keeping those stabilizers and everything strong. There was a point near the end of my career where it was like, dude, I knew I was getting older because I started late, and I had these records in the all-time number that I never actually got, but I wanted. And so it was like I was in gear all the time, and I was going heavy all the time. It was either heavy or I'm trying to rest.
yeah,
And I look back now and go, man, that was probably not the right thing to do. Like, I mean, and then I look back at the beginning of my career when I always lifted and I always still had my throwing background. Like I would say at my stabilizers were probably stronger when I started than when I finished.
oh, probably, yeah.
Because
Mine probably.
I was just in gear almost all the time at that point. Just like,
Hmm.
dude, I'm lifting. I'm so strong that I lift so heavy in gear that I'm so exhausted that like, and I think I should have changed everything around and maybe went a little less really heavy all the time and added some more of the other stuff in, or dropped down and said, hey, listen, we're going raw for a little bit or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. But it's hard when you're in the moment when you're training for those heavy weights and stuff to
Yeah.
tell yourself that to make it make sense to, you know what I mean? Like
Well,
when I'm training for a
I
meet.
mean, when it comes to that, isn't it all hard? Like mindset to me, the more I'm in this and the more I coach, I think, man, mindset's like the number one thing.
Yeah, it
Because
is.
even as I tell people all the time, as much as I've done this and as long as I've done this, I still fight like my ego and my mind. Like there's
Yep.
a lot of times where my body's like, you can do it, just go a little bit heavier, just go a little bit harder. And it's like the logic in my brain's going, Chad, you're obviously listen to your body. It's obviously telling you you either need a little break or you need to do more supplemental, or but my brain's going, no, heavier, heavier, heavier,
Yeah.
heavier.
Yeah, I was like, I do that. I mean, I still fight it, but I would say within the past year, I've gotten a little smarter. Well, I've listened to my body better, I should say,
Yeah.
because I'll always do one more set, always do one more, and then, but it doesn't always carry over. You know what I mean? Like it might burn you out too much to where
Yeah.
the next time you get, for me in the shirt, I'm like, I shouldn't have done that last set. I'm still fried from last week or whatever. So now I'm kind of like, all right, this actually happened this Tuesday, where my body just wasn't cooperating for whatever reason. The weights felt heavy, like on my left side for some reason. And we had some guys come down to train with us, and it was like a big crew, fun session. You know, when somebody comes down to train, you kind of want to go heavy and go all
Hmm.
out. But I was like, you know what, I can't do it. My body's not. My body's telling me I need to chill. Something's not right. You know, if I do this one more set, I potentially could get hurt for no reason at all. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
shut it down, and then next time I shirt up, hopefully it just goes better.
So do you think, and this is another thing I like to talk about, is the progression of a strength athlete. So when I was, when your technique's not as good, when you're not as strong, you can push harder through those thresholds, and you need to. But then when you're as strong as you are now, that one extra bench could, it's like, how would I describe it? It's like there's a, when you're new and in it, there's like a slope. And the better and better you get, it just keeps getting steeper and steeper
Yeah,
to where at your level, it's like a cliff.
yeah,
Like that one extra last bench could be the one that sets you back for 2 weeks.
100%. Yeah, I did that. I going into that meet where I benched 1,200. There's some stuff kind of happened behind the scenes that I won't get into, but I definitely started overtraining for that near the end of the meet, like the end of meet prep. couldn't have really gone worse for me. I was killing it in the gym. I was hitting like in the 13s. I was like, I'll hit at least 13 this meet. And then I could just tell meet day, my body was like, we need a break. And to your point, I should have just shut it down way earlier. Because as you're getting into these heavier weights too, your body is taking more of a toll. You're getting older. You need more time to recover. So it's just, accumulation of all that makes that steeper slope for that one set. It's just one more set, but it could be 2 to 3 weeks worth of recovery that you need to do that you could have just avoided by not doing one more set.
Right. And do you think that's because I think a lot about all this stuff. I think that's because, like, I tell people when I was in high school, like, I would train like a maniac. I loved training. And like literally the squat session was, if I could physically walk up the stairs, my squat session was not done. And I would literally go back down and keep squatting till I couldn't physically make it up the stairs.
Yeah.
But my technique was horrible. I didn't even know about technique back then. And so when I pushed myself, it was like, dude, you're not really lifting as much as you can because your technique sucks. I didn't have the neural connections to really push myself. So yes, I was sweating hard. Yes, my muscles wanted to give out. But honestly, I think our muscles can recover quickly from a lot of stuff. Like, you can train pretty hard as a bodybuilder, I think, and still recover.
Mm-hmm.
But in powerlifting, I think you start pushing this point where it's your central nervous system.
Yeah.
And then your central nervous system there's really, other than growth hormone, I don't really know. There's of course there's meditation and all these different things keeping your body in parasympathetic, but basically your central nervous system's only going to recover so fast.
Yeah.
And once
100%.
you tax that, you're setting yourself back.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because muscles, they don't take that long to recover. If you're just pumping out sets of 10, 8, 10, 12, just, really squeezing, like you said, like a bodybuilder, but the stress, especially a geared power lifter. Well, raw too, if you're going to the extreme numbers these guys are these days, but the overload that you do on the gear, your body, your central nervous system definitely needs that extra rest. I think more than your muscles do, for sure.
Yeah. And I think that's where you said, like, you just like, I'm fascinated because of my sleep problems, I think affect it too, but I'm fascinated with when the central nervous system is done, the weird ass things that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know for me, I got one right now where I was having some trouble. It's not so much my training right now, because my training's weird right now. I started getting a gag reflex brushing my teeth. And I started looking back at my past, and I'm like, yeah, whenever my sleep's bad and my central nervous system's screwed up, I get a gag reflex.
Huh.
Like, I don't know if everybody brushes their tongue, but I brush my teeth and I brush my tongue.
Right.
And like, I'll start gagging.
Yeah.
And when my sleep's good and when I'm recovered and I feel healthy, I don't do that.
Well,
and
there's your sign.
Like when I'll start dropping stuff, like my fine motor skills go to shit.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
really overtrained.
Yep.
And it used to piss me off. Like, every time I drop, she'd be like, God damn it. And now I'm like, okay, you need more rest. Like,
yeah,
you're going to do this all day long, so you might as well just get used to it.
Yep, exactly.
But I've noticed over the years, there's all these little signs, but it took me so long to start, like, actually realizing, like, hey, my central nervous system's messed up. My eyes are not as clear. My thinking's not as clear.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of ironic, because you need to think clearly because you need to rest, but now your brain's messing with you because it's not thinking clearly.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's interesting. And then I remember last time we talked was kind of like you said earlier, you had that period where you kind of weren't competing as much and training as hard. And I know, Shelly had some issues that I think are really good now.
Yep.
How was that? Because you weren't even then, you weren't that old, and you've come back from that and done even better.
Right.
Like, do you think in some way that time off was actually really good for you?
It definitely didn't hurt. I know that. Like, I was still training and trying to compete, but my body was just not cooperating. You know what I mean? I did one meet, one or two in 2022 and 2023. but definitely not my best numbers. I could tell just everything going on in life. Just I couldn't put everything into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I definitely learned from it for sure. You know what I mean? Like learn different things in that period that helped me now.
Right.
That kind of got me to where I am now. So yeah, it definitely didn't hurt. I know that.
I look back and there was guys like Kurt Kowalski used to take like 6 weeks off after a heavy competition. And like at the time, my brain was, when I was competing, it was like, no, dude, I'm close. I got to get back to it,
Yeah.
And I look back now and go, if I would have did that, it would have changed everything.
Yeah. 6 weeks is a long time,
And
but
then,
it, I could see how it could work though.
like, what was this? Was it Bill Carpenter, Metal Militia?
Hmm.
I heard he would take half the year off to race and jump his quads. And then he'd come back and hit these huge ass bench presses.
Yeah.
And so, like, at the time, I was like, dude, that's crazy, man. And now I look back and go, wonder if there wasn't something to that,
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure he still trained some, but he didn't compete at all, like, during that time.
Yeah. And just letting your body recover, like we just, the central nervous system, just give it a break.
It's, I'm kind of on that train of thought now because I moved to Pahrump, which is a small town outside of Vegas. It's about an hour outside of Vegas. And the gym here is effing horrible, man. Like I went one or two times and I'm like, this sucks, man. Like this just sucks. So while my building is being built, well, I'm having somebody do the foundation, septic, well, and then once the metal building's up, I'm going to build the inside. I'm like, you know what? I went and got some of my stuff. I got a big tire and sledgehammer. So I go out in the desert and do all this weird shit now.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stay relaxed and I'm going to stay chilled out. And like, I don't know how long it'll be. Hopefully it'll just be a month or two without actually lifting weights in a gym and just let my body like just chill out.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting for me. And I'm already trying to think about what kind of experimental like training, how do I want to come back to this? But like, what would it be like after all of my years competing to just let my body just like, so, I mean, I ride my bike a ton right now. I'm out hiking, but I'm not actually lifting. So I'm really curious to see when I go back into the gym. And I know the first week's going to suck because I'm going to lay down on the bench and it's going to like make me cry. But
Yeah.
I'm like, it's all about, for me, it's like the experiment of it. Like, dude, I got strong before. I know whatever my bench is after this, I know I can get it because I'm not looking for crazy numbers anyway. But I mean, I know I can build my strength back.
Yeah. And it'll
But it
come
would,
a lot quicker than you probably think too. You know, like
yeah.
that first week or two is going to suck, but then a month goes by in a flash and you're pretty much right back where you were.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious to kind of see and then see how the training, like, I mean, I feel pretty good. I mean, I never had that many joint problems or anything, but like,
Hmm.
I mean, I feel good. My flexibility is staying good. And I'm like, so it'll be interesting to see. But it's just something I've been thinking about with like top lifters. And I know how hard it is at that point. Like, you start putting the numbers up, and like, even though we know you can take a week or two off and it won't do anything, there's this like always this lower conscious thing in my head
Yeah.
that I'm always fighting.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I do the same thing. I can tell somebody to do something just like that and be
Yeah.
like, you're going to be stronger coming back. I can't tell myself that. Myself, I'm like,
Yes,
oh no, you're going to lose everything. You can't take a week off.
exactly. I talk about, I'm kind of notorious for, I get shit because I didn't train as much as everyone else. But, I had narcolepsy and shit. I was up for 2 or 3 days at a time regularly.
Yeah.
So, like, my recovery sucked.
Hmm.
So, but the guys on my team all slept really good. So, over the years, we started kind of spreading it out and giving it more rest time. And every single time we did that, everybody got stronger.
Right.
But still, even after like the fourth time or the fifth time, I would struggle for months. Like, I'm like, Chad, my brain is logically telling me everybody needs a little more recovery. But I don't want to spread it out. I don't want to take another day off. Like, that can't be right. It can't be right. Nobody else is doing it. And
Yeah.
it was a struggle to learn to just go, no, just trust yourself and do this.
Yes, I do the same thing. I used to bench 2 weeks in a row in the shirt, take 1 week off. The second week would always suck. It'd always feel heavy. And I'm like, all right, let's do every other week. And then that's gone great.
Yeah.
But like this past week, I didn't have I mean, it wasn't bad. I went 11:55 to a one board in the shirt banter, and it went up easy. But for me, for what I wanted to do, it didn't go great. So like, I'm like, well, I can get in the shirt next week and I'll do better. I'm like, no, stick to the plan, do the
Yes.
raw or like the slingshot stuff that I had planned, then get back into it the next week, and you'll be even better. You know, you just want to make up that one so fast, and you think, oh, I'll be better next week because this week didn't go as well as my brain said it would.
Yeah.
But I'm like, all right, that's the part of me that has gotten better because I know not to get in the shirt next week. I won't, even though I want to. Then I'll just have something to look forward to even more the next week. I'll be even more antsy to get into it, and hopefully it goes a lot better than I think it will. I don't have too many bad training sessions with how it's set up, but there's always one here and there. And I
Yeah.
just got to
Yeah.
tell myself to
It's
stick to
inevitable.
the
It's going
plan.
to happen. Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's the gift and the curse, though, because I think it's that kind of Superman mentality got you where you're at.
Yeah. But it got me
But
where
there's
I'm
a
at, but it
point where you got
also
to pull back on it.
exactly like it got me where I'm at, but it also I've learned from I did it so many times and it didn't go great that I know like, okay, you had to go through that to realize it's not how my body responds well.
Yeah.
So there was, there was something to it, but learning from it along the way.
Yeah, and it's really I think it goes back to perspective. So like you have that bad session, you're like, well, I'll get the next one. And next week I'll do it again and I'll do it better. And
Mm-hmm.
you got to kind of stop and go, wait a minute, why was this session like it was?
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I'm not fully recovered, but I still, even though I didn't, and that's another thing too, I think people don't understand is if you're, and I got my brains go, it's funny that you go, it wasn't a great session, but it was 1,100 pounds. Like that just cracks me up. Because
Yeah.
I was used to kind of be the same way. People are like, dude, you squatted 1,000 pounds. I'm like, yeah, so what?
Yeah.
Fuck that. I could do 11. Who gives a
You
shit?
wanted 11.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But we're not, if I just squatted 1,100 pounds at a meet, I'm not an 1,100 pound squatter every day.
Exactly. Yeah.
Every day changes depending on where it's at. And so that day, even if you're like, I wanted to hit 1150, but I hit 1105, what still was your max that day?
Yes.
So
Exactly.
if it wasn't what you wanted, but it was your max that day, and then you go, hey, I didn't hit the max I wanted because my body hasn't fully recovered, then logically, what makes you think by next week it's going to be fully recovered?
Exactly. And that the max you wanted for me, like I know I could have hit more per se, but it's just a number you came up with in your head for me that I wanted. I wanted X amount, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen. Just, you know what I mean? It's just a
Yes.
random number I picked that I wanted to hit that day. Well, my body was like, we're not going to go that heavy. We're going 50 pounds less or 100 pounds less. I didn't hit the number I randomly came up with in my head. Well,
Yeah.
that's okay. Like learn from it, figure out why you did it, and then try to get better. So yeah, I totally
And
get that.
the irony of that is the better we get, the better those on or off days, the bigger they get.
Mm-hmm.
So like, when you benched 400 pounds, if you were off, it's probably like 10 or 15 pounds.
Right.
Now that you bench 1,200 pounds, being on or off is 50 or 60 pounds or more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I literally had times where I would go into squat and like 800 pounds was, I'm a 1,200 pound squatter at the time. And I'm like 800 pounds feels like it's a house.
Yeah.
So that it seems like the better you get, the more the difference becomes, I guess.
Yeah.
Like a ratio kind of thing.
Yep.
So then, yeah, I kind of got off track here. So that you had that time off and you came back. Did you when you took time off, did you have any injuries? Did you have any joint pain? Did you come back and you're like, man, I feel really good. Time to start going heavy again? Or
I didn't have any injury. Luckily, I haven't had really any injuries in my career. The only thing that was really bothering me and I couldn't figure it out is my left arm. It's always lagged, but it's kind of weird. It's had those like in 2022, and I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't lock my left arm out with that maximal weights.
mm-hmm.
It would just come up. There's no pain. it just wouldn't go full extension. I couldn't figure it out. And I don't think I may have figured it out now. But I stopped training biceps, and I think it might have been something in there with the bicep tendon or tie-in or something that when I would train them, I didn't train them hard either. It was just mainly hammer curls, maybe one other exercise per week.
Right.
But when I stopped doing that, my lockout's gotten better. My left arm still lags a little bit, so I think it's something in my shoulder as well. But it's not that blatant, like can't extend, can't lock it out.
So was that during that time off, or was that like?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I was still like I took time off from competing a lot. I was still training in the gym, and I did a strongman meet. It wasn't sanctioned or anything, but me and Shelly jumped in a strongman meet down here.
I remember that.
Yeah, and did that, and just kind of had fun with training. I didn't really focus on just powerlifting lifts. I jumped into a bench only meet. I actually did a full power meet in that time. But yeah, I forgot your question.
Yeah, it was if that time off, like if things healed up better, like when you came back, did you feel better than when you kind of like said, okay, I'm not going to compete for a little bit?
Well, mentally I felt better. So mentally everything was clicking. So I think physically I all around just felt better as well. You know, everything started getting back to normal in my personal life. So all around just felt better, felt ready to go. So
I'm kind of fascinated with how long it takes to actually recover, and like the difference between the muscles recovering and the central nervous system recovering, and then even to the ligament and tendon recovering, because ligaments have shitty blood supply, like they take quite a while to heal. And especially as I get older, I'm really healthy, man. I had a back issue, but that was more from doing granite, and even that's healed up now. And I'm kind of fascinated because like I know how much people give to powerlifting, and I would like to see them be able to either lift longer, healthier, or people that want to compete as they get older, And so I'm always fascinated by how that whole recovery rate. And I know, in the end of my time lifting heavy, I kept dealing with that hip issue. I never got to pull without being in pain because of my hip issue.
Mm-hmm.
And we did all kinds of shit. We did MRIs. I had the surgeon who used to be the surgeon for the Denver Broncos offered to help me out, and he was doing this weird like imaging and shooting, numbing up muscles, and then I'd go train, and he'd go, "Did it feel better? Did it feel worse? Okay, well that didn't work," and like nothing worked.
Right.
And then when I kind of backed away from everything and took a little time off, and I was still lifting but not lifting heavy, and then I started lifting heavy again, and I'm like, what the hell happened? Like my hip feels great now. Like, and it was like, well, maybe it just needed time off to heal. Like,
yeah,
it just went away, and it's never come back since then.
Huh.
And so it's kind of like, I don't know. It's interesting because we do so many modalities, like, oh, you need to cup, you need to do this, you need to do contrast bass. And it's like, well, maybe you just need a little more time to recover.
Yeah. Maybe sometimes doing nothing is doing the most for you. Yeah.
And I think, and then you talk about the whole head thing of like, well, no, if I'm not training, I'm getting weaker. And it's like, well, it really, honestly, if you break it down, it doesn't work that way.
Right.
Like the time in the gym, you're actually breaking everything down and you're getting weaker.
Yeah.
You don't leave the gym stronger than when you went in. You leave tired and exhausted.
Well, I've looked at that. I've taken that and applied it to my training too, because now after like my heavy bench sessions, shirted ones, I don't do accessories. And ever since I've done that, my numbers have just gone up. I've given my body just takes so much of a beating benching those numbers that I'm not really getting a ton out of the accessories afterwards anyways. I might do some like tricep push downs just to get some blood flow in the elbows or something.
Right.
But I just bench heavy and then I'm done. Now the week I don't shirt up in between, I'll do accessories and stuff because I'm not beating up my body. So there is something to it. Just doing less is evidently, helping at doing more.
That's interesting though. And if my brain starts going down the rabbit hole, I'm like, okay, well, you know how to bench.
Hmm.
Like you use your whole body.
Right.
Like so you benching, you basically just trained your whole body.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
It's
if you
funny
do go
because
do supplemental after that, you're already tired. So what are you really getting out of your supplemental? I mean, you just went
100%.
crazy heavy.
Yep. Yeah. That's, I started doing that once I started getting in, in the band shirt stuff, going 12, 1,300 pounds. I'm like, I can't do accessories. I'm like, maybe I don't need it. Maybe, I do two bench workouts a week. And my second one, I'll kill the accessories,
Right.
because I'm not really benching. I don't really bench the second day. If I do, it's like a bamboo bar, get the
Right.
blood flow, stabilizer stuff. But I don't really do any like speed work here and there, maybe. But I don't actually lay down on a bench and bench that second day. Um, so, yeah, I'm like, maybe I just don't need the accessories. I'm not putting a lot into it anyway. So let me try it for a while. If it doesn't work, I'll add them back in. And
Yeah.
it's worked, and I've done it ever since.
That's another interesting thought. So you have, but see that, and I think that goes to the mindset. You have the mindset that you're like, wait a minute, maybe something's better, and you're willing to try it.
Right.
There's a lot of lifters, and I kind of was the same way when I started. I'd look around and go, well, nobody else is doing it, so I must be wrong. And then I had to
Yeah.
figure out and start to trust myself that, hey, listen, I
Yeah.
do have some good intuition, and I need to listen to it.
Yeah. I've felt the same way. I look at the top guys, and especially back then when I wasn't where I'm at now, and I'm like, man, they're not doing it. This guy lifts 3 times or benches 3 times a week. This guy does an hour worth of accessories. Like my guy I look up to the most coming up, Kennelly, he's like, if I'm not doing like an hour of accessories after bench, he's like, I'm not doing enough. And I'm like, I took that man. I'm like, yeah, I guess I'm not doing enough. And I'm like, well, that's him. That's
Yeah.
how his body works. Maybe
Hmm.
that's not me. Let me try this. Everybody's different. And so, yeah, I found something that works, thankfully. And I was able to take it and actually do it and listen to myself for
Yeah.
once.
And I think that's what it does. I think I mentioned that in another one with like, I love talking to all the guests that I have and the top guys like yourself. Cause it's like, dude, I can't argue with what you do because you're putting up huge numbers.
Right.
So it's the one thing I found between all the top guys is they all kind of learn to trust themselves.
Yeah.
You go, yeah, there's all these principles and they're all pretty good, but in the end, I got to do what's right for me, and I really don't care what anyone else thinks.
Exactly. Yeah. If you look at, I would assume, I don't know how everybody trains it, but if you look at the top guys now, if you took all of the training, every single one's going to look completely different. There's not
Yes.
one that's going to look like the other one, even, besides maybe what they do on the bench, but as far as their whole training,
Yeah.
like I know Kolb does like, trains like 6 days a week. I train 4 days a week. If I train five, I feel like my body's like,
Hmm.
no, we can't do this. Hoff, the other top, bencher who only, does poly stuff, but he does the full power. He like doesn't train until like 2 months out from a meet or 3 months out from a meet, from what I've heard. And he still puts up ginormous numbers. So he's letting his body right, so all of us are
Yeah.
different in our approach, and all of it's working, so
Yeah.
everybody's so different.
It's kind of the same thing. And I've heard, I really would like to talk to, you just mentioned him and his name spaced me.
Off.
Hoff. Yeah. I would
Yeah.
love to talk to Hoff because I've had, people, even Dave Tate said he actually kind of did what you did and just took it further. But at the same thing, like I can't say that somebody like Kennelly's wrong. Kennelly was absolute like the greatest ever. So
Exactly.
the way
Yep.
he trained isn't necessarily wrong. I got to go. It's right for him, but is it right for everyone else?
Exactly. Yeah. He found out what his body responds to best, what he needs, and sticks to it.
And I think that's an interesting one too, where I think it's funny because people will look at someone they like or look up to, and I want to train like him.
Yep.
I Chuck Vogelpool was always somebody I looked up to. He's the first time I met him, he's just a great dude. And there's no way I cannot train like Vogelpool. Like I do not have the recovery. I don't have the genetics. Like it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And I can be as mentally tough as I want, and my body's still just not going to recover from what he does.
Yeah. That's
But I
how I
can't
look
say
at
that
it.
what he does is wrong because he's unbelievable.
Yeah. He figured it out what works for him.
And then I think there's a lot of like, well, what does that person do for a living? What do you do for a living? Do they have kids?
Yeah.
Do you have kids? You know, there's how I mean, you got to factor in drugs when you're talking about recovery and like how much are these guys taking? How much are you taking? You know, and people just want to look at I feel like people just want to look at the training and go, oh, I want to do that. I like him. That looks
Hmm.
cool. It's like,
Hmm.
well, it might look cool, but is it?
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of young lifters, um, especially in the raw side, want to do what the top guys are doing and don't realize what they take to recover and what they take to get their body to that level. What, regardless if it's drugs, whatever the case may be. And they're not doing that. Like they don't take that into effect. They just, like you said, look at the training. It's like, well, he does this.
Yeah.
Milanichev back in the day only squatted, benched, and deadlift and did like abs. They were like, well, I'm going to do that. Well, he's had X amount of years doing all the other stuff you don't see on a video that he decides to post. You know what I mean? Or, other people who go crazy, like Dan, what's his name? Dan Green
Yeah.
went nuts in the gym with it. Like, yeah, well, you don't know what else is going on
Yeah. Where did he,
that's letting him do that.
I've told people that too. Like, okay, well, if you like Chuck Vogelpohl, you're new. Find out what Chuck Vogelpohl did when he was new. At least
Yes.
find out what he did when he was at the stage you're at.
Yes, exactly.
Because
Yep.
it's probably changed over the years.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I know with like Jimmy's like that's the other thing too is people they want to mimic what someone does in the gym, but not outside the gym.
Hmm. Well, another thing too, and that kind of depends on a lot too, like you said, job and stuff, but where you live. Like you live in Nevada where it's 105 degrees. I'm in Florida where it's wet heat down here. It just pushes down on you. But and then somebody who lives in like Ohio or colder state probably can recover a little easier. Little things, but they all add up. So you got to take into account of that too.
And Dave Tate once said to me, anything you do to get stronger is training. And that really changed my perspective. So like I know Jimmy's good about taking naps.
Oh, yeah, I take a nap every day at
You
lunch.
know, and like, dude, if you're getting 6 hours of sleep and you want to lift with somebody who gets their 8 plus a nap, well, then you better pick up your goddamn sleep too.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
I do
because
it
it's
every day.
important, and
Yep.
and then I know people that like top lifters are really, they may not eat the cleanest, but they make sure they're getting enough food.
Yeah.
And I
Yes.
know a
That's
lot of
yeah,
people that train hard and don't eat.
yes. Yeah. I have a couple people I know. I'm like, dude, you're not eating enough. You're doing this, not eating. Imagine what you could do if you actually ate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's huge. Eating and sleeping, I think, is number one. If you don't have those and on track, you're not training is just it's not going to be there. You know what I mean? You're not going to be
Yeah.
where you could be. You have to have
I mean, that goes back to the whole you're breaking things down in the gym, you're recovering outside the
Mhm.
gym. That means you got to do the stuff you need to do to recover or go, hey, I'm not going to eat. Okay, well, then you're going to train like once every week or every
Yeah.
twice a week or whatever because you're just not eating enough to recover from it.
Yep.
So it's going to take longer to recover. And I've kind of used that to try to get people to start eating again. Like, because I heard Stan Efferding one time, he said, I was at one of his seminars, and he's like, I like to lift every day. So I make sure I'm in bed by 9 o'clock every night, getting 9 hours of sleep.
Hmm.
And I was like, I really like that because you're earning your training.
Yeah.
Like you're doing what you need to do to train as much as you want.
Yep.
And because I mean, at some point they have to meet. I mean, to me that's the hardest part. Get your recovery equal your training. Like, that's one of the
Yes.
most important things.
Yes. 100%. Yeah. I'm huge in recovery. I make sure I get the calories in, like you said, even if they're not the cleanest. Um, just make sure you get something and make sure you get some protein, get some carbs. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you got to have those in check for sure.
So now that you're back, and I mean, since your little hiatus from competing anyway, like man, you just hit some crazy ass numbers. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, like you and Kolb seem to me like you're almost, there's a couple other people, but you're almost like, it's like just, there's just all these here, and there's just like you few right here at the top that are just doing crazy numbers. And I'm amazed seeing you do different shirts, and you're just putting up these big numbers in all these different shirts. I don't know if it amazes me because I'm still stuck back in the when I competed. Um, but it's interesting. It's interesting seeing you do all this different shirts, and I mean, I don't even know what records and stuff you have. Because I've
yeah,
seen you hit so many ones, and it's this one is in this shirt or this one's in this shirt.
yeah, yeah. I appreciate that. I've had a few people, and it's cool because I've wanted to be a top bencher my whole, since I started. That's the goal. And it's pretty cool to hear somebody, like yourself, who's been at the top, who's the top level lifter, kind of recognize that. So I appreciate that. And it's cool to hear that. Yeah, I, I have my love-hate relationship with the poly shirts, they suck. I put one on a few weeks ago and I was like, and I even made a post about it. I probably shouldn't have, but I'm like, I'm done with poly. This is stupid. I hate this. The very next day, I was like, I want to get back into poly. Like, so, but I love doing all of it. It's fun. There's something about getting a big bench in poly. You know what I mean? Locking that heavyweight out because these band shirts they're so fun, but they help you so much too. Like,
Yeah,
but they don't beat up your body. There's so many good things about both, but there's just something different about hitting a big weight in poly. I mean, you've seen it. There's like 30, almost 40 people that have done 1,000-pound benches in a band shirt, and only 8 in poly. So
yeah.
it's cool to be on that list, but it's all So I can't not keep doing it. I want to push it to where to where to see where I can go. I can't give it up, but I love, and I want to hit a 1,000-pound single ply. I know it's there. I don't train single ply a lot.
Hmm.
Like when I hit that 900 last year, I trained in that shirt like twice. I broke it in, and then I found an opener, and then I went
Went
and
for it.
did that, and that was the F8 meet at Rob's meet where we did single ply, multiply, and Vancer all in one meet. Um, so it's
It's
been fun doing it all. I love it all.
yeah. Each thing has, and this is why it always confused me about why people would get upset with different kinds of lifting. Because I'm like, it's all really different, and there's little. I can't think of the word eccentricities. I can't even say it. Um, with each piece of gear,
Yeah,
like, and there's this knowledge you have to have in practice with like each piece of gear. And even when I did the band shirt thing at the Olympia, I don't know if that was 2 years ago now or something.
hmm
But like the first time I was visiting my friends in Salt Lake City, and they're like, I was like squat day, and they're like, hey, we got some band shirts, you should try them. And I'm like, but it's squat day. They're like, yeah, so like, let's come on, let's do it. And it was like, whoa, this is a whole different, like, I mean, it's just a different, like the poly to me. And I started in like the Inzer extra high performance, whatever the hell those
yeah,
painful shirts were.
yeah.
And then I went to denim,
hmm
and I didn't mind denim. And then I went to poly, and I was like, ooh, this has a little more rebound. I like this.
hmm
But even then there's like, I think you kind of have to fight the shirt a little bit.
And Polly,
Yeah. In any of the other ones. Now the band shirts, it's like, it just kind of like,
yeah,
it's more like, dude, this is going to go quick. So I got to like be with it.
yeah. I think
It's
that's
just
what.
weird.
Yeah, a lot of people. I think that's one reason why so many people love it because when you're working up to a top set or whatever and warming up in a poly, you're coming down and it just stops, and then,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It's
Yeah.
tight, it stops, it hurts. And the band shirt, it just keeps going, and it helps you up a lot. People are
Yeah.
hitting way bigger numbers, so that's why they like it too. But there's no pain really in these band shirts. It's just kind of it's fun. It's fun to use, and it less wear and tear on the actual body as far
Hmm.
as the shirt goes, not necessarily the weights. and it's allowing people who may have some limitations in poly, shoulders, elbows, whatever, to keep lifting too. So, yeah, it's a whole different animal. I love it, all of it.
It's
But
weird. I'm still going to play with them once I get back and build a base up, because it's different. You know, and I like playing with shit at this point. I'm like, I don't have any rules to follow now. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah. And you can hit so much more volume too. You can do like a drop set and hit like sets of 20, 30 in a bancher.
Yeah.
You can't do that in a poly. You're going to die.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That would just wear
so
me
much.
out. I usually want like, dude, I did it. Get it off me. Let's go.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah.
But it was like, I tell people all the time with gear, and I wanted to talk about like your other lifts too. Like, other than the band shirt, like the gear is going to try to take you where you don't want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And you forcing it to go where you want it to go, that's what gives you the rebound.
Yeah.
Like if it let you easily go where you wanted to go, then what support would it give you?
Yeah. And then
so I think you have to have this in gear. You have to have this hard-headed mindset where maybe you don't like. I think you can take a lifter and kind of look. If you get to know a lifter, you can go, this guy's going to be great in double ply gear.
Mm-hmm.
Or go, this dude's going to be good raw. He's going to fucking hate gear.
Yeah.
Because it's just a little different mindset, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to deal with that pain. You have to deal with that pressure. And you have to go, I'm going to fucking make this thing go where I want it to go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
And so like with you, I don't know if everybody knows this, but you can squat too. Like you actually have a 2,500 pound total.
Yeah. And that was supposed to be in a poly, but I almost bombed out in the poly. So I switched to bancher to my third attempt and just hit my opener. That was supposed to be my opener in the bancher. But I went like 955, 920, and then 625. I ended up missing 700 right at the top on my pull. But I've always been a decent squatter. I've done like an 805 raw and knee wraps at like 238, I think my body was. And I've always said I've been like at least raw a better squatter than I am bencher raw wise. I just don't in gear. I don't like putting on the squat stuff. I like briefs. That's about it. I don't like putting on the suit. I don't like putting on the suit with the wraps. It's just so much stuff. I don't like it. I hate it. But like I just posted a video of last year. It was like a week after the Arnold. I did 2 bench meets at the Arnold. Then the next week I went in the gym and I squatted like a little high, whatever, but it was like a 1055.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's cool. But I was like, I don't want to do this ever again. I do eventually want to squat 1,000 in a meet in a competition. I do want to get that on record. So I will do another full power meet at some point just to get that 1,000 pound squat in, but that'll probably be it. I don't like it.
It is like I was probably a better squatter than anything, although in the WPO my world records were in the 3 lift bench, and people like, you must love squatting. And I'm like, no, squatting sucks, man.
Yeah.
I go, it's fucking hard, it's painful, it drains you.
Yeah.
Like the only thing I like about squatting is the fear factor. That's really what I like. I like the fact that this could just totally screw me.
Yeah. Well, that's the same thing. Well, in the bench too, with the, like I have it in my hands over my face. Well, I'm like, well, if I drop the thing, but the same thing with the squat, having it on your back. It's for me, it's more scary to have it on my back because I just don't do it a lot. Yeah. And I'm like, oh man, this is nuts.
Well, I think with you guys, my best bench, I actually got up to 900. And then I was going to open with 900 at my next meet, and I tore the shit out of my tricep. Wow. So I didn't get to do it in the meet. So my best meet is like 821 or something like that. Mm-hmm. Dude, you guys are doing like 12.
Well, yeah.
800 has a fear factor. 12 is a fucking... And I don't even give 2 shits about what kind of shirt it is. Like, you're still holding that much weight above you.
Yeah.
And because I was thinking about that, I'm like, dude, your best bench is higher than my best official squat. Like, that's crazy. Because the squat is like, my back was wide. Right. So the bar was on this much space. Uh-huh. You're holding that weight in this.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of weight in a little area. Mm-hmm. And this right here is nowhere near as strong as my knee.
Right. Yeah. It's scary, but it's fun. I came within a rack command my last meet of doing 1300. I pressed it up, locked it for like a solid second, locked, and then went back to the rack. If somebody wanted to be generous and give me a really quick rack command, I would have got it, but
Right.
neither here nor there. But yeah, having that weight in my hand, but I don't know. When I walk up to the bar, or if I look at the bar before I'm going, I'm like, oh God, this is a lot of weight. Kind of psych myself out of it. But once I'm under the weight, I'm laying, nothing goes, the weight is not even in my head. It's just going through the technique, making sure I'm staying up, all that. I can't think about the weight. I don't, thankfully. I'll probably just psych myself out even more. But yeah, it's kind of crazy when you think about it. Like, just if you just think about holding X amount of weight in your hand like that, I'm like, it's kind of crazy that we choose to do that.
Well, I think you could, we've actually done this in the gym when I was training at American Iron, because people would be like, well, you're wearing that shirt, man. I go, you want to wear one? We got one that'll fit you. And you put people in a shirt and put 400 pounds in their hands, and they're like, oh my God, like, this is fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, dude, I could lift that. No, you can't, dude. You can't even hold 1,200 pounds. If I fucking duct tape 2x4s to your arms, you still won't hold it.
The amount of people,
and I don't think people understand that. Like, just,
yeah,
I think some people do and some people don't. But it's like,
yeah,
you have 1,200 pounds on human bones and joints.
Yeah. People, like, especially on the internet, you get so many comments. It just, obviously people not a lot of people follow powerlifting out in the world, and they're like, take that bodysuit off and do it raw, and don't have those spotters there. Why is the spotter so close? And blah, blah. I'm like, you're not grasping how much this really is. And like, even less, like, you put 600 pounds in somebody's hands, it could kill them if it falls on them. I have 1,000 plus. Yeah, of course they're going to be, I don't respond to them, but some people are just, can't grasp that number that's in your hand. You know what I mean? Like, they just look
what I've always thought was interesting is it's like, you don't talk about golfers.
Yeah.
Get rid of that goddamn huge driver head, go back to a wood shaft, and then tell me.
Well,
have you ever held, I don't know how old you are, but have you ever held a wood tennis racket?
Yes.
It's a whole lot fucking heavier than that shit they're using right now.
Oh, yeah.
So like, why is it people say that about powerlifting? And it's like, every sport does this. The baseballs and bats have changed.
Yeah.
Baseball, every sport evolves. It's just a little evolution of the sport.
Yeah. I'll never get it. Maybe just because lifting raw in the gym is just universal, and people, you know what I mean? Like, everybody can go in the gym and lift raw, but like NASCAR compared to dragsters compared to rally car, whatever, like, they all have different engines. They have different, like, you don't say a thing about it. You're not like, well, go race it in your mom's minivan and see what you get. Like, that's not how this works. Like, they're all different. Like, why can't you just accept what we do is just, it's not cheating.
That's so fun. Never thought of it. I'm John Force. I have a Top Fuel dragster. Do that in my minivan, dickhead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're saying that, like, pole vaulters instead of like high jumpers or whatever. Like, get rid of that pole and see how high. Well, the sport is using the pole.
Yeah, and if you can create a better pole, that's what you do.
Yeah, the world evolves. Equipment evolves. You want to see somebody hit like a 500-foot home run. You don't want to see, like base hits. So the bats evolve. All this stuff. It's more fun to see these extreme things. Plus,
and actually, dragsters. I've always compared powerlifting to dragsters, because I had uncles that drag race, and my one of my friends in high school was drag racing because his dad built his dragster. And so I would go to the track with him, and I'm like, dude, you can go to a drag strip and you can see all these different levels of cars. From like, basically, like, this has to be pretty much stock to insanity.
Yeah.
That's what powerlifting is. What's the problem?
If
you like raw, you can watch a raw lifter. If you want to see some crazy psycho like us go in full gear, you can see that too.
Yeah.
And everything in between.
I don't get it. The technique is just the only thing that's different is the technique is slightly off. We're not just going down to our chest and pressing it. We're going down to our bellies if you got one. And that's like it. I don't know. I don't get it. I'll never get it. I don't get people taking the time to comment or say something on something they know nothing about. I'll never understand that. That's the only thing that bugs me. Like, I don't care if you hate it. I don't care if you don't like it, whatever. Like, you're taking the time to make a comment on something you know nothing about.
I think that kind of goes back to a mindset, though. Again, like somebody who wants to strive for stuff. Like, there's plenty of stuff I see on Instagram that I go, well, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Or I think, well, man, I would never do that. But I don't have time to even leave comments.
No, there's no
point. If I can't say something good, and maybe that's because I'm old and my parents, if you can't say something good, don't say nothing at all. Like, why would I even bother? Why
do you need to put something negative in that person's life to read? Like, your opinion matters so much.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Like, there's this thing I saw the other day, like, I guess, I don't know what it's called, but like these dips, they're doing like these dip competitions with weights, and people are like leaning forward instead of going to the normal dip. But that's the technique. That's how you're going to get more. So it looks kind of crazy, but that's the sport. Like, I'm not going to leave a comment like, you didn't do it like a gym tip or whatever. Like, this is exactly what the sport is. You're trying to get the most weight. Why would you not take advantage of everything you can to do the most?
I mean, you can go way back to the high jump with I think it was a Fallsbury flop, where everybody used to like dive over it and the dude started going over backwards, and it completely changed the sport.
Yeah,
but nobody was like, you can't do that. That's different. You got to do what everyone else does.
Like, but I just went higher and I beat him.
I just went higher and the bar didn't fall off. So what's the problem?
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, I could go on for days about this stuff.
But I think when you find the people that do achieve and do better, they don't have that mindset of they're like, oh well, I don't like that, whatever.
Yeah,
like I don't need to bag on anybody else's stuff. And the same thing, there's people. I know people that, although it's interesting, I know people that run like triathlons. They're not into lifting. They don't want to lift big. They don't want to be huge. They want to run for fucking days.
Yeah.
But still, the guys that I know can respect what I do.
Yeah.
And I have a ton of respect for what they do.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I don't want to do it.
To me, the mindset to be able to do that is just like, I'm like, you can just lock your brain in for like 7 hours and just go. Like, that's crazy to me.
That's insane. Yeah.
So instead of bagging on it and going, well, that's dumb. Why would anyone want to do that? I got a fucking motorcycle. Why the hell do I want to run 12 fucking miles? You know?
Yeah.
Like, I can go, well, that's cool. I respect that they do it. That's fine.
Yeah, everybody's got their thing. Just respect. And, most of the time, pretty much every time you talk to somebody in person or tell them what you do in person, and you can kind of explain it if need be, they're not like, oh, that's dumb. Why would you put that shirt on? Some people be like, well, is that cheating? Then you're like, no, because you compete against other people that do it, and you don't say it's your raw max. Not that matters, but like, they're like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's crazy. You lift that much weight, blah, blah, blah. It's mostly the internet.
It reminds me of, have you seen the hobby horse stuff?
Yes.
So that's so insane to me. Like, there's this part of my brain that's insane, and I'm like, dude, I need to make powerlifting. I need to make hobby powerlifting videos. But I've actually watched some of them hobby horse videos, and I go, God damn, that girl can jump, man. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And she did it with that stupid stick between her legs. Like, that's impressive. So I'm like, I'm not going to go leave a bunch of videos and go, you people are crazy, you're nuts. I'm like,
that's your thing.
If you like to do it, and you know what? If you want a world championship doing it, like, dude, you're the best in the world at doing that. I mean, that's the best in the world. It's the best in the world. Like,
exactly. It doesn't matter what it is. You're the best in the world at something.
I once watched I watched a Scrabble competition on ESPN one time. And I can't spell for shit, so I want nothing to do with Scrabble.
Yeah.
But I'm watching it, and they had a camera in the back room, and these people are going berserk, man. Like, they're going berserk. Dude, that's triple scored. And I'm like, holy crap. I've seen people don't get that excited at powerlifting competitions.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, that's totally the farthest thing from me ever.
Yep. Same.
But dude, they're the best goddamn Scrabble players in the world. Like,
they're
probably at home reading dictionaries and shit. And like, they probably put a shit ton of time into that.
Oh, that yeah.
So
If you're the best in the world, you're putting so much time into whatever that is that you can't help but respect whatever it is. You need, yeah,
like, I'm not going to go comment on it. I might joke in person on it here, but I'm still going to go, dude, you spell like a dude. That's insane.
yeah,
I
yep,
sometimes can't spell simple words. I got to
yeah,
fucking get my brain right first.
yeah. I'm so glad there's autocorrect on phones and computers.
Yes.
Like,
So, an interesting thing you just said, which I think would be cool to talk about, is you said that you have, like, there is fear. There's a point where there is fear. And that's and over the years I've had a lot of people ask like, aren't you scared to do that? And it's the same thing. I always say similar to what you say. For me there is a switch. So like when I'm squatting, I may be sitting there thinking about it and I'm like, man, Chad, if you don't stay tight, if you get loose, this because I've been down with 1,000 something. I was down with 1170. Like I've been down with some big weights, and luckily I'm flexible.
mhm,
So like, I mean, bad shit could happen.
yeah,
So there's a point where it's like, yeah, I mean, I recognize that, okay, man, some bad shit could happen. This could go wrong. But then for me, there's a switch. So like when it was squatting, as soon as my knee wraps went on, it was like, all right, that's it. You gotta almost be a different person.
hmm,
And so I go into this completely different mindset. And I had this old YouTube video, which is still on my YouTube page, where I talk about that whole journey and how it's like, no, I become like, this is my platform. These are my weights. This is my monolift. This is my world. I am fucking king here. And like, so there is no, you like push every negative thing out.
yeah,
But it's not like you go through your whole life or your whole time. There is a point where you look at this and go, shh, this could go sideways,
yeah,
really easily.
yep,
But you can't actually get under it with that mentality, and you have to have
no,
like control. You have to have control of that.
yeah, yeah. I do that if I like you, like if I'm like 2 out at a meet, I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh man, 1,200, 1,300. But once I'm up, they're loading my weight. And it's not like something I actively do, but it's just gone. That's gone.
Yeah.
It's, game time. It's go time. It's, I'm wrapping, getting my shirt on. I'm not thinking a lick about how much weight is on the bar. I'm just thinking about everything I have to do to get that weight. Um, but yeah, before that, like last meet, I was going to open up at 13 and just go for it. But I was kind of sucking myself out in the warm up. I'm like, that's that opener, the 13. I've done it plenty of times in the gym, loaded up, no fear at all. Meet, I was like, oh God, what happened? What if blah blah blah? So I dropped it, and immediately I could feel like the pressure in my head, just kind of like really. I was like, all right, I made a good call. So that I did when I made the jump. I got the good lift. And I made the jump to 13. There's still a little nerves, a little like, still 1,300 pounds, but it wasn't as bad. But either way, wrapping up right before I'm going on, you don't think about it. You have to own that. You can't sit down on that bench or under that bar and scared. You need
Yeah,
to,
you that's
yeah,
the
yeah. If
worst
you do
thing you
that,
could do.
you
Yeah.
might want to not do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Which that like my after I did, let's see, I did the '07 Arnold, then I did the Pro Am, but I squatted 1221, but I got called on depth, so I bombed out of that meet. And then we went back and I got ready, and this was basically my depression and everything was like seriously out of hand at this time. And I went to the meet and we were going to open with 1,200. Was it 1,200, 12? I think I was going to open with 1,250 and then try 13. And I have pictures of me at the, and you can just see my face. Like I just didn't look good.
Hmm.
And so warm ups were like, yeah, but I've had horrible warm ups and went out and killed it
Yeah.
because I'm kind of lazy in my warm ups. I'm kind of like, I don't want to waste too much energy. So
Yeah.
like I went out and I picked up 1,200 and I went, or 1,250. And I just remember thinking, I don't really want to do this. And so I said, I'm not putting all these people at risk. Like if I'm not fully 100%, I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
And I just told him to put the hooks back in and went to the back, and like all my training partners and stuff were like, "What the fuck, dude? What was that? What the?" Because normally I'm like, I don't, if it don't feel right, I don't give a shit. I'm going, no matter what. I'm going.
Yeah.
And that was kind of when we kind of had an everybody had an intervention with me, and like, you need to get your shit together because you're not going to keep going if you keep doing this. But
Yeah.
the point being, like you said, if you're not 100% with these kind of weights, don't do it.
Don't do it. Yeah. It's
just gonna get, you're just gonna get hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. Just because you entered a meet thinking it, and like you said, you're like, I don't feel like it. I've had that before too, in training, not really in the meet, but where I'm like, I don't feel like doing this. So I'll tell them like, never mind, scratch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
After they had loaded it, it happened like once. I'm like, dude, because like you said, I'm not gonna unrack it just to be like rack. At that time, you got under it. To me, it's a little different. Like, I'm not feeling it after you picked it, but I was like, you know what? Sorry, you guys loaded this, but I'm not 100% there to lift this. So let's not do it. It's not worth it to put yourself, much less other people, in danger.
Yeah,
do that.
And I'm not saying don't go for it, because I mean, I squatted 1173 with a torn hamstring.
Yeah, I mean, but
I knew I'm getting this with one fucking leg. I don't give a shit. Like I was 100% in it.
That's exactly it. Like, if you're not mentally, you're there. Like, you're like, oh, my hamstring might go, but I'm there. You know what I mean? That's different than like, I don't know. You can't, like, I don't really feel like it. Like, that's completely different, mindset for sure.
Did you ever see Over the Top with Stallone?
Yeah.
The arm wrestling movie?
Yep.
Where he talks about turning his hat around.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like that. Like, there's like, because I would go crazy when I lift, and people are like, Chad's crazy. I don't even want to talk to him. He's nuts. It's like, dude, I don't walk around all day screaming at people and sniffing ammonia. Like, Jesus. I'm a human being, and there's still a point where you kind of look back and you think, Jesus, I did that? Really? That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.
Because you don't, it's controlling your brain. I was watching a thing about meditation the other day, and the guy explained this really well. Like, when you meditate, it's more really about focusing and coming down to like one specific thought. But when you start to meditate, it kind of shows you how crazy our brains are, because it always wants to jump around to all these different things.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, you know what? It's not like, there is nobody that is like laser focused all the time.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay that our brains jump around, and it's okay if, when you're warming up or like way before your lift, you're like, shit, man, like, this is a lot of fucking weight, man. I mean, it's okay, but you got to control it and pull it back when you need to.
Yeah. And it's kind of too, it's almost like for lack of a better term, like a routine. Like, if I'm going in there, not with all weights, but like, okay, you kind of psyching yourself out, you kind of getting in your head, then the switch flips and you're ready to go. Like, sometimes if I'm not anxious or a little nervous, it's like, well, something's off. Maybe that switch might not get flipped. You know what I mean? So it's almost like a process, like a routine, like your warm-up routine, or how you wrap your knees or your wrist or whatever the case may be. It's kind of like, you have to go there to hit the switch to be able to lift it. I'm not saying you have to, but in a way, it's like, okay, this is just what I do before a big lift. It's like,
and that's like your routine, and that can look different for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I always compare like what I did or what Joe Vogelpool did to like what Ed Cohn did. And I go, I still think Ed Cohn seemed calmer than he was. Like, I think he had an attack, kill that bar mentality. Yeah. He just didn't show it the way that like me or Vogelpool would. But,
yeah, I'm the same way.
I think it's different. I think everybody like, and I've had some of my clients who want to yell and scream like I do because I do it, and I'm like, you know what? That's not your thing.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about it. Don't try to be me. You be you.
Yes. That's a little tangent. I used to try to emulate every lifter I looked up to. Kennelly, Mendelson, Meeker. I'm like, oh, they put their foot there. Oh, they jump around before the lift. Oh, Kennelly like just psychs up. Mendelson gets slapped. I'm like, let me try all this. That's not me. That's not how I'm calm. In my head, I'm amped up. I'm ready to go. I'm going through everything. I'm psyched up. But outside, I'm calm. I can't go nuts before I lay down on the bench. It's
Mhm.
just not me.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go get slapped, and I'm not going to hop around or whatever. You know what I mean? But that works for them. That's them. But I would try to emulate everything.
Yeah.
As a young lifter, I'm like you said, I'm like, that worked for them. But as soon as I just like, you know what? Let me just be me. Let's throw all that out. Do your technique. What works for you? Do
Yeah.
your, pre-lift, whatever you need to do. And then too, that was back in like probably 2017. I
Mhm.
started thinking that way. I remember because at the Arnold, I I was like, all right, I'm gonna not try to wear what this guy wears or lift like him. I'm gonna lift like me. And then I ended up winning that meet. And I was like, oh, okay, there is something to this.
Yeah.
Let me be me. Let somebody else maybe look at me like I want to do what he does. You know what I mean? Like, I'm
Mhm.
not saying people do, but like you do you. Everybody's different. Everybody looks there. As much as I wanted to look like that person lifting too, I didn't. So it didn't even matter.
Right.
so yeah. So yeah, it's just you have to find yourself. Maybe try some stuff other people do, see if it
Yeah.
works. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's never bad to try it because
yeah,
that you gain knowledge then,
yep,
well, hey, that didn't really feel right, didn't really work right for me.
yep,
That puts me one step closer to finding out what my way is.
exactly. Yes, yep,
It was interesting. I often talk about like there's beginning lifters that are pretty open and to listen to everything. Then there's these mid-level lifters that seem really picky as shit to me. Like oh, you got to do it this way. Oh, this is the right way to do it. And then at the top, and I went through this level as I went through the with my powerlifting career, and then I get to the top level, and it's like, wait a minute, I can sit down with 4 or 5 of the best in the world, and we can talk training, and nobody gets upset. Nobody goes, oh bullshit, that don't work. It's like, oh well, yeah, I tried that, but it didn't work for me.
hmm,
And if somebody says, hey, have you done this? I'm like, oh, I have not, but that sounds interesting. Like everybody's really open to that concept that you're you.
yeah,
I'm just throwing out ideas that might work for you or might not, and I'm not upset either way. Like
right.
because you got to find you, and it's like there's this acceptance of that. And I've always thought about because I'm always trying to think, especially now that I'm not competing like with the people I coach and stuff. I want everybody to be the best they can be.
Hmm.
So like, how can I help people be the best I can be? And I think that going up those ranks, there's a point like where you said there's a point where you kind of go, okay, listen, I've learned a lot from a lot of people but I got to find what works for me.
Yeah.
And then you become accepting of that. And then so now you're listening to information and other people talking and you're filtering it all a different way.
Yeah. And you take bits and pieces from those other people and those other things. Like
Mm-hmm.
my setup, I wanted to look like Kennelly, but now it doesn't, but now I took a little bit from that. I took a little bit from Paul Key, who helped me out. I took a little bit from you. I remember going to you asking, about the foot setup and all that stuff. I took little bits and pieces from everyone. Um, and that's what makes you you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Figuring out you can be a little bits and pieces from everybody else who makes up how you live now.
And you
So
kind of you kind of make it your own.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And that's interesting too cuz that I remember Dave Tate trying to get me to write a training manual and I'm like, "But I just do conjugate." And he's like, "No, you don't. You do your conjugate."
Hmm.
And it's different. And I was like, yeah, but I don't know. It's just this or this or this. It's not that big a deal, whatever. And now I kind of look at it differently that it is kind of you. And it's interesting. I had someone, I was talking training with someone and they're like, oh, you think so-and-so is better than Louis Simmons. And I'm like, well, don't, Louis was a great knowledgeable guy and I miss him and I respected everything he did. But if you went, hey, Chad, who do you like coaching? Man, I like Paul Childress. I like Chris Duffin. I like Louis Simmons. I learned a lot from Dave Tate. I love Jim Wendler's stuff.
Hmm.
Like there isn't one guy that to me is the end all be all his way is right.
Right.
Like my programming has shit from everybody, like you said, and I can't even, man, if I don't know if I could make a list of the people that helped me
Yeah.
because I learned this from this guy, that from that guy. I've learned the smallest little tidbits from all kinds of different people.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And off that too, like I try to help some guys at the gym bench and tell them how to set up, like how I would set up. Put your feet like this, put your back like, and then make them do that for a little bit. But then I'm like, all right, but then now tweak it to where it's your own. If you like your foot a little bit more back, or if you like your belt here, or you know what I mean? But like start here, let's start right here, but then take it and make it your own, however it's more comfortable or you think you can get more out of it. But here's a good base or a good start.
Yeah.
It taking, you know what I mean? So I don't want anybody like, you have to do my way. Like, this way works for me, and I know it's going to work for you, but also tweak it to make it your own. Because I'm not you. I'm not your body. My limbs are different. All this stuff. So
we're all different in some way. We might have the same physiology, but we're all different.
Yep.
That was the one thing I loved about working with the Learn to Train seminars for Elite FTS, is that, I would be coaching with 4 or 5 other coaches. And so we all did things different. And so I was very similar to you. I would put people down and go, okay, here's how I do it. I just want you to try this.
Yeah.
And if you try it, let's take what you like and what you don't like. And even my clients that I train, I'm like, hey, I want you to do this for a couple of weeks, and then let me know what you think.
Yeah.
And if you go, hey, this I like, this not so much. Okay, well, what do you think you'd like to do? Let's try that.
Yeah. There are some like non-negotiable technique things that have to happen.
Yeah.
But there are some things, you can tweak that. You can, that's comfortable for me, but maybe your feet back a little bit more. Maybe you need to put your feet in a little bit more, maybe wider, or, little things like that. But try it like this, and then make small adjustments as you go to make it more optimal for you.
Yeah. So with your training right now, do you have something you're working towards at the moment? Oh, one thing you did say, and you said it, I was going to ask you about it, but you already said it. The 1,000 club. That's still, I don't think there's that many people still that have done that. The 1,000 squat, 1,000 bench.
1,000 squat and bench and poly has only been done by Hoff and Rizlak.
Yeah, I was gonna say Rizlak did it too.
Rizlak did it, but not in the same meet.
So that's he did. Yeah, he did. I tell people this all the time because I tease bench only guys all the time.
Yeah.
And I actually kind of was one for a little bit until I tore the crap out of my tri. When I did the 900, I was only squatting to like kind of maintain some strength in my squat. And but yeah, I tell people all the time, I'm like, dude, you get your first 1,000-pound squat, then you can go full on like bench specialist.
Yeah. So there's 2 people there, and then oddly enough, I think the only I could be wrong, but I think the only person to do it is Bob Merck, who's done 1,000 band and 1,000 squat. But
that's a short list, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to be there because I've done it in band and I've done it in poly. So I want to squat it and do it in single ply. So just thousands across the board, and I don't care about my deadlift. I'm going to do it. It's just win. My thing, I think I'm just going to have to train like 2 or 3 times, squat, pull 2 or 3 times, then jump into a meet. I can't do a full training cycle. I've tried it, and I'm just like, I don't like that. I'm done. I just want to bench. So you don't want to do a full training cycle for the squat just because it's fucking exhausting. Like I threw on a single ply pair of briefs and a single ply squat suit, and I squatted 1,005, not training my squat. So, and that was a little high too. They're not like maybe.
How is that though? How often do you squat?
2 or 3 times a year. Like full gear 2 or 3 times a year.
Well, probably. How much do you squat regularly?
Like, not a lot. I'll train legs.
So okay, so here's let me communicate my question better. How is it that you can not squat very much and come in and hit like those numbers? Do you think that's because a bench press is a full body goddamn movement. If you do it right, it's a full body movement. Like after my heavy bench days, my goddamn legs are tired.
Yeah. I,
Like, so do you think it's a lot of it carries over just from the heavy benching? Do
I
you
think
think
it
you're
has
just
to.
built really good for squatting or like,
I think a little bit of both, honestly. I think I'm built similarly to Hoff. I'm kind of ideally, probably an ideal power lifter, all around power lifter as far as my leverages go.
mhm.
Because my sumo is fine. Like I have good leverages for sumo, um, pull, not necessarily conventional, but and I have a good everything for squat. Um, but I think it has to be the heavy benches that I'm able to do it because I don't know, and I'm not scared of. Maybe because I've benched it so much, I'm like, if I'm not squatting 1,000, I'm not squatting much either. You know what I mean? Like I have to
Yeah.
get back in my training. Um, so I don't know. Honestly, yeah, maybe tops 5 times a year, maybe. Like I haven't squatted
Do
this
you
year
have
though.
any problems? Like, a lot of people, I don't think people understand, or I should say, I think there's a lot of people that don't understand how gear works. And so I see people put on squat suits and they squat like knees way forward. And it's like, dude, the more you sit back, the more you're going to get out of that suit.
Well,
Especially if you're a wide squatter.
yeah,
I mean, looking at your technique, I'm like, dude, it looks like he squats often because his technique's pretty good.
yeah. I used to squat like all the time, every week, up until about probably maybe 2020, and then I moved down here maybe 2021.
Hmm.
About 20, maybe for like the past 3 years, I haven't squatted often, but I used to squat about every week in gear. But I still didn't master it. When I get in a full suit and wraps, it's hard for me to remember to sit back. Not to remember, to get my body to sit back into the suit. A lot of times I'll go straight down and then back. I can feel it. Um, but so I have definitely some things I need to clean up on the squat. Doing it more often would help. But um, most of the time, though, it's kind of like riding a bike. I can do it within reason well enough to get some decent numbers
Hmm.
or to get a decent number on the squat. Um, but yeah, it comes pretty natural, getting in the gear, squatting. So it doesn't seem
It
too
almost
forced.
it would be interesting, like the programmer in me is like running shit through my head right now. And I'm like, I wonder if he squatted in gear like maybe once a month.
Yeah,
And
I
like
should.
to see what would happen after like 4 or 5 months even.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind doing that. I definitely.
Cause it is, I mean, dude, squatting heavy is exhausting, man.
It is.
Especially in gear, it's so
Yeah.
much. And I think that's again where it kicks in. It's so much more in the central nervous system. Just because you can create a lot of pressure in your body benching without a doubt.
Mm.
But that squat suit and the belt and the wraps, like you create so much pressure within your body.
And it's pressing down on you,
Yeah.
like compressing you. The
Yeah,
bench is. Yeah.
you're actually compressing down. Like I
Yeah.
tell people that I go when you're because I drive up on the bench, so I'm driving my back into that bow.
Yep.
Well, it's the same thing when I get into the squat bar. I'm actually trying to make myself. I'm 6'1". I'm trying to make myself like 5'9".
Hmm.
Like I'm trying to compress everything down. So like you said, and then that's all that much more interabdominal pressure. That's more pressure on your organs. That's more pressure. I mean, everything. It's
Yep.
just so much on your body.
Well, that's another reason why I don't do a lot of heavy geared squats because I do, I'm really just focused on benching. So I feel like if I do heavy squats, it's going to take away from my bench.
Oh,
Uh,
I think there's no fucking doubt in my
yeah.
mind
Yeah. But if
that
I did it like once a month and I did it like, so I bench heavy every other week, but if I squatted the weekend before like a lighter bench, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
heavy bench, heavy squat, and then go into a lighter bench or non-shirted bench day. I think that could work and not, but the squat doesn't have to be crazy heavy every time. It's just,
No, yeah.
get the
Just get
work
into
in.
gear, feel
Yeah.
it, learn to
Yeah.
push back into it really hard.
Yep. And then maybe if I deadlifted every other week besides that, I could do that kind of program
Yeah.
within reason. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely something to even like I remember when Brent Mikesell, I give Brent Mikesell a shit ton of credit because he just came in and just started killing squat records.
Yeah.
And then Goggins came out of nowhere and hit that. Not, I shouldn't say Goggins came out of nowhere because Goggins is like historic. but I did not expect his 1100, and
Yeah.
then Brent went back up over that. But
Hmm.
I know like Brent had so many shoulder issues, like his bench was always, I think it was under 7, and then as soon as he started backing off of his squats, his bench jumped up over 7.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was like, well, yeah, dude, you get, it's hard. Like it's trying to fit those two in together is tough.
A straight bar squat is not ideal for your body. That
No,
torque
not at
on your
all.
shoulders, your elbows, your wrists. Just that alone is going to take away from your bench.
And on that, I think I don't think people understand, because I think as you go deeper, there's more shit going on in your head. But it's like, dude, put a pole on your back and put it here and see how tight it is. Now get in squat position and realize how much tighter it gets as you go down. And so a
Yeah.
lot of people, there's guys that can't hardly get under the bar.
Yeah.
And then it's like, now you're going to put a bunch of weight on your back and force yourself down into the hole. Do you know
Trying
how
to
much
remember the technique.
stress
Yeah.
there is on all of this upper body because you're just not flexible enough? Like
Yeah.
it's a lot. And then you're going to go try to bench after your shoulders just went through all this shit.
Hmm.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a reason bench specialists bench more than 3 lift guys.
Oh, yeah. Besides, Hoff, I don't know how he does his 1,000-pound plus benches after his near 1,300-pound squats, but it's insane. But
I got to get him on. I really want to talk to him.
he's a pretty tough guy to get a hold of. I've been trying. So the WPO bench bash is coming up, or bench wars is coming up, and literally no disrespect to anyone at all, but like I want good, some people to push me. And I think the only 2 people out there right now that can push me in poly is Hoff and Kolb. Kolb's doing a 1,500. He's going for his 1,500 like the next month, so he won't be there. And then Hoff, he has the WPO full meet the next month too. But people can't get a hold of him, from what I've been told, can't get a hold of him to even like see if he wants to be interested in doing the bench meet.
Mm-hmm.
I highly doubt it, because the flight, the logistics of it and everything, it just wouldn't make sense for him to do it. But it'd be cool. I would love to go compete against him, but nobody can get a hold of him. But it would be
I
interesting.
know, yeah, because I know Jimmy's pretty focused on 15 right now.
Yeah.
When is that meet?
It's at the Olympia, October 11th.
Is that the one AJ's doing?
Yeah, he's putting it on. So they got the APO
so
bench.
You are going to be here. You are going to be here for that.
Yeah, I am. I say I'm 50-50 on it, just logistically, and because I just did the Irish Pro in May, and that was one like $2,500 out there, but it's still an expensive trip regardless.
Yeah.
And now the flights out to Vegas are ridiculous. It's like,
are they really?
Yes, from here it's like $1,200 for like me and Shelly to go. Like nothing under $600, unless you want to make like a stop, and then it's like a 10-hour flight, all around together. So it's like,
well,
tough.
See, I know one of the other reasons I moved to Pahrump was, first of all, Reno was getting too big for me, and I wanted small, but I wanted to be close to big. And Vegas is becoming a really prime, like, strength bodybuilding. Like, there's a lot of good gyms and big name people in the area.
Mm-hmm.
And then every time I flew from Reno somewhere, it was way more expensive than I could from Vegas. So sometimes I would come down here and stay with my parents so I could fly out of Vegas.
Yeah.
Because I could drive down here, stay here, and it'd be cheaper than flying out of Reno.
Yeah.
But I do know that the town is changing a little bit, and I think they're starting to get a lot of feedback. So hopefully they'll go back to the way they used to be, where it was cheaper to come here because it's a resort town.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully that'll go back. I would invite you to come stay with me. But I don't even know if my building's going to be done by then. And if you did, you'd have to sleep on. I'd have to put my table down in this trailer, and you'd have to sleep on a friggin' portable bed thing. But because I'm definitely going to be there. I'm trying to get one of my clients. I think he's going to qualify for he'll qualify just for the U.S. whatever the goddamn all these federations, the
USPA.
USPF and IPF. I think he's going to do single ply at that one.
Okay, yeah.
But he's
Yeah,
got to hit his qualifier.
yeah.
And then I've been talking to AJ. Like I told AJ, whatever he needs, I'll help out with. So I'm definitely going to be there.
Okay, perfect.
And I'm
Yeah,
hoping my building should be up, and I hope I have the gym part done, but I don't think I'll have my living quarters done by then.
Okay. That's the other big one, is trying to, get out there and know people to help. I know everybody meets everybody's willing to help everybody, but I also don't want to take away from them helping, hey, you have a lifter, can you focus on me too? It's tough to ask that. So there's a lot of things.
I like I said, I got my one client that's going to do it. Depending on when you lift, I'm there for you, whatever you need.
Perfect. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I'd love it's poly only, so it's been tough to get people to sign up. AJ says he's got some people telling them that they'll do it. Hopefully, they come through and they can do it, and it can be a fun show.
It's interesting. What do you think on geared lifting? Do you think it's growing? Is it stagnant? Is it decreasing? What are you seeing?
I don't think it's decreasing. I think
it seems to me like it's growing slowly.
Yeah. I think these band shirts are getting bigger and bigger, and it's for the bench only, aspect of it. There's not many people wanting to do poly anymore, especially bench only guys. The poly elitists that don't necessarily want to get in a band shirt are mostly full power guys, and I understand that. I totally get it. But
until somebody comes up with a band squat suit.
Well, I think Bench Daddy did.
Did they?
Or Deadlift, and it was not. It's not going to work the same at all. That would be insane.
No, I have an idea. I have an idea for that though.
If you put like poly and band together.
Because the one thing about a squat suit is it's nice that it can kind of stop you.
Yeah.
So I think if you combined fabrics and had like a canvas with that other material, or even like a poly with some of that band stuff, I think you could create something completely crazy.
I do too. You would just have to figure out where to put what. Do you put it in the hips? Where do you put the band stuff? Yeah, I thought about it too.
Because that was the one. Even when I got in the bench one, I'm like, okay, I don't have. Basically, I had like a week's notice to do the Olympia.
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks. I don't know. It was 2 or 3 weeks maybe.
Yeah.
So I'm calling everybody I know. I'm like, I'm not buying this shirt on a maybe. Like, so I'm calling everyone I know and I go, hey, do you have anything I could wear? Do you have anything I could wear? And like a couple people are like, yeah, dude, I'll run these other ones over. Yeah. But it was like, dude, it almost never really locks you out.
No, yeah.
Like it seems like almost no matter how tight you get, it never has that complete dead stop. It always has some give.
Yeah. And that I like if I went 1200 band shirt or 1200, I'd much rather hold it in a poly just for that locked in feeling.
Right.
Like where you get it, you're like, okay, I'm here. And that support, sometimes it's like they're just going, it's like, oh God, all right. You have to put on the brakes in these band shirts sometimes, depending on, what you're wearing, how many layers. But yeah, it's kind of freaky if you're new to a band shirt, how much it in ways it doesn't stop you, or you know what I mean? Like you just said, like, you got to get used to that.
It's like, dude, I think I could put all 3 layers in this Bench Daddy thing and probably still touch.
Yeah, exactly.
Without too much weight. Like there is no like, that's it, man. And then they get that little ass push.
Yeah.
And like you said, I did find it the first time I put one on, it was weird because like with my poly open backs, I could get in there at the top and just boom.
Yep.
And like I could lock it in, and it's almost like I had at least, it's almost like there's maybe something I can't even describe it. Like maybe something I could rest my back into the shirt.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, dude, I'm totally cool right here. Like no problem at all. But with the band shirts, you never really get that at the top.
Nope. It's all you
fucking launches you out of the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can control it, hold that lockout. But once, you get that hand off, like you said, that chest plate's tight, the arms are tight. Yeah. There's almost like a point where you bring it out and it like clicks in a poly where you're like, I can hold this for days. In a band shirt, you're like, all right, this is like all me at the top. Just
Yes.
holding on to the weight. It's like there's almost nothing there. It feels like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot scarier. Yeah.
So do you have with like the 1,200 pound stuff? I've talked to Kolb a little bit about this, and he was getting X-rays on his forearms for a little bit. Have you had any issues with like the tendons or ligaments or anything in your forearms just handling that weight?
No, Shelly and I went down to Tampa, and they have MI40 gym down there.
Okay, I've heard of that. Yeah.
And they have like a DEXA scan, and we did that. And I don't remember the number. I lost my sheet that said it, but my bone density, both of ours actually, but it was like off the chart. It couldn't register. At least the machine they had, like the density. So it just was like the number was just up, like the little. Anyways, and I was like, oh, well, that's good, So I know my bones are good, but I haven't had any issues as far as that or tendons or ligaments, thankfully. Only thing I've had is my wrist here and there kind of bugged me, but it was technique stuff. I rolled them back too far or
Yeah.
something like that, but those have healed, but nothing, thankfully, in my forearms or elbows or anything.
It's just, I mean, having 1,200 pounds on my legs, it's 1,200 pounds in your arms is still like, it still kind of baffles me.
It's really it's cool to kind of say it. Like I did the table talk, and their little thumbnail for my video there's had like 1207 in the background. I was like, that's cool. That's a lot cooler than I thought. Then it feels a lot cooler than I thought it would, seeing that number up there with my name. I'm like, that's pretty cool. So
It is
yeah,
cool.
I
And
don't
like,
know.
I tell people, I try to explain this to people. Like, it's really easy to get caught up in your goal and miss the journey.
Yeah, I
And I
want to I
think,
want to talk about that real quick, if you don't mind.
okay.
Just because it's perfect for. I'm like, I wanted going into last meet. I wanted 1,300 so bad that I was going to open with it. Ended up dropping, open up with 1113, something I can hit easy, and went straight to 13 and ended up missing it 3 times. So you can take a fourth in the IPA, even if you get a lift and you're going for a record, you can take a fourth regardless if you get your third. Afterwards, I was like, you know what? It's really fun to bench like over 1,000 or an advancer for me over 11. Anything over 11 it's fun. It's cool. I like it. That being said, like in hindsight, I should have went like 1113, just over 1207 to hit a PR, then maybe 13 or another high 12. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I was too wrapped up in what you're saying in my top goal that I wasn't like enjoying that journey to just get there in that one meet. I was like, I wish I would hit these other numbers, because I actually liked. It was fun to watch the video and to kind of see everybody get excited with that. Just 1113 to me is just 1113,
Mm-hmm.
but to everybody else, like, that's insane. I'm like, yeah, it is fun to complete these lifts, and even if it's not the 1,300 or my top goal, I wanted that meet. I could have hit like a 1212 or a 1220, and I was too wrapped up in hitting that 13 that I didn't enjoy getting those other numbers. So,
Yeah.
I just want to talk on that, because I think I learned that from that meet, that I really enjoy. I've gotten too caught up recently into like just number chasing as far as the ultimate goal, that I
Mm-hmm.
just shoot for it. And sometimes that's good. Sometimes I feel like you should do that here and there. But overall, I'm like, I should just enjoy it. Let's hit this one, hit this one, hit this one. And then if it's there, let's shoot for that overall goal.
Right.
And it almost make it that much sweeter. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of put that out there in case anybody's listening, like, you know what, maybe I should back up. Maybe I should make a smaller jump or something. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it was just, I got too caught up in that one goal that I didn't enjoy hitting those other numbers at that one meet. So like the next meet, I'm going to, maybe take some tweeners or kind of think about that a little bit better.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think
yeah.
that's like I think you're taking the same concept that I had, and you're like zooming in on it to like
Mm-hmm.
the meat. I'm thinking more terms, big terms.
Yeah.
I'm working on a book right now, and one of the things I talk about, a saying I've always had for as long as I can remember, is perfection is unobtainable, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't try.
Mm-hmm.
And I talk a lot about in the book. I talk about what it means to me, and I break it down. But I remember when I got my first WPO bench press world record, like I jumped up and I yelled, and then by the time Ethan came around to celebrate with me, I said, I started listing shit off. Was I tight? Did I do this? What can I do better? And he's like, dude, relax. You just broke the world record. Like, fucking celebrate.
Yeah.
And like, I had already moved past celebration. I had
Yeah.
already went to like, all right, what's next? I can do more.
Yes.
And so now in hindsight, I tell these stories and I can celebrate it more now.
Hmm.
But I think, dude, what if I would have celebrated it more then?
You enjoyed it
Like,
more.
I think I would have enjoyed it more. I think that would have helped me in my training and lifting. And like, I think I kind of lost focus for the goal. And that's not a bad thing. Goals are good things.
Yeah.
But if you know, enjoy the process, because the process is going to be more important in the long run than the goal.
Yeah.
So it's like a
Yeah.
balance. Like you got to have the goal. The goals are good. Shoot for the goals. Put up some like crazy, I call them, it'd be amazing if I hit this goal kind of goal.
Yeah.
You know, but don't forget that the process. And I tell people, like, there was a point where my goal was to hit the all-time total. It was to be number one in powerlifting USA and hit the all-time total. Well, I didn't get that. I hit number two, my highest ranking. I was actually number one, but Powerlifting USA didn't come out in time. By the time it came out, Donnie had beat me. So I'm like, okay, well, I made number two. And I'm like, okay, I fell short of the all-time total, but when I put the 1173 up, it was the fourth highest total in history. So, like, am I upset about that? Am I pissed off about that? Fuck no.
Exactly.
It was a great fucking ride. I'm proud of what I did, and that just the fact of going, hey, listen, I'm putting all my cards on the table and I'm going to do the best I can.
Yes.
And we're just going to see what happens. You know, like, it was a great journey. I learned so much about myself. I'm a completely different person than when I started that journey. Like, I'm not upset about it at all.
Yeah.
Like,
I did the same thing when I hit my 1080 first 1,000-pound benches in the van shirt. It was a world record. I got up. You'll see the video. I got up and I just turned around. I didn't celebrate at all because I wanted the top. At the time, it was 11:10. I wanted 11:15. So I got up and I was just like, cool. All right, go to 11:10. Like my training partners were they were going crazy. My buddy John was like, he was so excited. He almost like started crying. He was so happy for me. I was just like, yeah, man. All right, let's go. 11:15.
yeah, like for you, it was like, dude, that's just another step. That's just a step I was going to have to take to get where I want to go.
Yeah. But I should have celebrated. I'm not saying I should have went nuts, but like I should have enjoyed that moment more. Then my first record, my first 1,000-pound bench, I didn't act excited or happy at all. You know?
Yeah.
I wish I would have, though. It's the same
thing. And I
thing.
think that, I mean, I think that's part of the process, and I think it makes it more enjoyable, and I think it helps keep a clearer head on what you need to do next and everything, you know?
Yeah. 100%.
Because there's a lot of times, I mean, like we talked about earlier, I think one of the biggest mistakes I made in my career was when I hit that 1173, I did it with a torn hamstring. And I totaled 27:33, and the all-time total, I think Andy beat the all-time total at that meet with like 28:10 or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, dude, I did like 80 pounds less with a torn hamstring. Like, I got this.
Yep.
Like, all I got to do is buckle down, man.
Yeah.
And so I started training harder. And then I went to the Lexon, where I did the 12:21, but I got red lighted for depth, and both sides. Bob Youngs was an amazing man. He's like, dude, he goes, you were so close, but he goes, it was a world record. I couldn't give it to you. And the other judge was like, Chad, dude, that's so close, man. So I was like, okay, whatever. Cool. Yeah. I mean, that just proves to me I got the all-time total.
Yeah.
You know, that's 50 pounds more than I squatted at the last meet. And then we went again. I went, okay, man, buckle down even harder. Like, you got this.
Yeah.
And I look back now and go, what I should have went is like, Chad, dude, you're doing awesome, man. Congratulations, brother. You're doing great. You know what? Take a couple weeks and just chill. and get things back to normal, take a little time to enjoy what you've done and then get back to it. And
Yes.
I truly believe if I would have done that, I wouldn't have pushed myself over the cliff.
Yeah. Oh, I agree 100%. Yep.
So it's kind of like, dude, there's balance in all aspects of life. Not equal balance, but there's balance.
Yeah. Yeah. Shelly will tell me a lot of times. I did a meet earlier this year. I was going to go for the all-time, poly bench, 1107, or well, a multiply bench, 1102. It would have been 1107. I was going to open up 11 or 1058. And she's like, "Why don't you just open like low thousands or like 970 and then make the jump and then go?" I'm like, "No, I want the record." So I go 1050, 1107, go from there.
And then
I
have
did
a
the same
third
thing.
if you need it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I ended up not hitting it my first 2 attempts in the poly. Switched the band shirt, hit it. It just wasn't there that day. Blew through 975 in the warm-up room. I was like, I should have opened there. Taking it for what, enjoyed that. Like, I don't have to go for these insane numbers every meet I do right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of in my head, I feel like I have to do it. And I'm like, you don't have to do it. Enjoy this. Go open 1,003. Hit another 1,000-pound bench in the poly, enjoy that, and then let's see if it's there. You know what I mean? But I was too greedy, and I wanted that big number so much instead of just, like you said, enjoying that. Let's hit that. Still, nobody's hitting 1,000 in poly anymore. Do that. You'll do it again. It's cool. You know what I mean? Like, enjoy it. But I have to take these. She's really good at telling me this stuff. I just have to listen, and actually do it. But
I think it's like that's a little for me. That's a little different. I kind of like the approach. I always took a similar approach to you. Like I want to if I open too light, I fuck around and I waste energy. Like I'm notorious in my early career. I mean, I remember opening with 800-pound squats, and I would stop in the middle, comment to the crowd, and then come up.
Yeah,
because like it was just so easy.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I'd be like, "You're an idiot, Chad. Like, yeah, that was funny and cool, but like, you wasted energy. You stopped with like this weight."
Uh-huh.
And so I started going, you know what? I need to do an opener for me that is, I know I can do, but I also know I can't screw around with it.
Yeah.
And then I kind of like having a third attempt because anything can happen. Like you can miss a lift from any little thing. You can miss a command for any little thing. I like going like I want 2 attempts, and if I get both attempts, I'll pass the third, or I'll just go for something bigger.
Well, that was my mindset
but
too.
But if I mess up 1 or 2, I still have a backup chance.
Yeah,
which is where I usually go. But I'm like, I've opened up with weights that I have never done.
Yeah,
just because I knew I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. That's kind of interesting, but I do agree with the. Like you don't have to hit the because you're still young too. How old are you now?
Just turned 37, so I'm a little young. Getting up there.
You're like hitting your prime. If you stay healthy, I mean, you got you got years left.
Yeah.
So I do agree with Shelly that there's a point where it's like, dude, just go, open with something easier, kind of like ease into it instead of just going full bore maybe sometimes.
Yeah. Like if you're capable of hitting 11, let's maybe not open up 900. You're kind of wasting energy, but it all depends on a lot of things, how you're feeling that day, blah blah. But you also can't forget to enjoy these other lifts too. But like you said, maybe
the other lifts, the process. Like I mean, dude, I don't care. 1,000-pound bench is still crazy.
Yeah.
Like in any gear, it's still
but
crazy.
as much as I do, like once you've hit that, like you hit 11, or you're like, oh well, I'm gonna open up 1,000. It's not as cool anymore. But everything it is cool, But but I've already done this number.
Yeah. Our brain, we see it from our perspective, and our perspective is better. I've already done that. I want to do something new, and that's kind of why we can hit a record, and we don't celebrate it because we're like, I did it. Like I knew I was going to do it. I just did it. I just accomplished something towards something else.
Yeah, and I think that's what it was at the time too. Like I've done this a million times in the gym. It's just another lift.
But if you stop and think about it, with that mentality, you're always going to want more. And nothing is ever going to be enjoyable to you
Oh,
past the extent of, well, that's cool, I did that.
yeah.
And that can be a hard life to spend your whole life just chasing.
Yeah. I've always said once I hit 1,000 poly, I'd be done poly, or like not as much. But now I'm like, oh, I could go 11. I could go 11. I was like,
Yeah, that's the thing, and because I've talked about that with like world records, and because I mean, two things. People are like, oh my God, you hit a world record. How great is that? And you're like, it honestly changed absolutely nothing in my life. Like nothing changed. Like the skies didn't open, like confetti didn't fall down, like nothing changed.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I'm a world record holder. So what? It didn't change me. It didn't change my life. It did nothing. It changed nothing.
yeah. The
But
other
there's
part
there's
sucks
that
too.
part of like going, hey, I just did something no one's ever done.
Yeah,
But my brain doesn't register that. My brain registers, I don't give two fucks. I can do more.
yeah,
And like I'm chasing, it's almost like I was chasing my best and everything else was irrelevant. But chasing my best is a good thing. And this goes back to the perfection is unattainable, but why not try? Like I will never do my best because I'll always think my best is more.
yeah,
So I need to keep trying to keep doing my best and keep getting better, but I also need to remember like, dude, enjoy all of those steps in between there.
yeah,
Because you worked for it, you earned it. Like you like enjoy it.
yeah. Exactly. And even though nothing changed, like when you hit the records, like I'll go hit a record, go to work. Somebody's like, "Oh, did you get your?" Yeah, I got a world record. Oh, dude, that's cool. Hey, can you go do this? Blah blah blah. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's it. That's not. I'm not expecting you to be amazed by it, but like it just puts in perspective. Like, cool. Like nothing changes, but but you still have to remember to enjoy it and be like, that's still crazy what I did,
Yeah.
even though it did change nothing in retrospect. Like, it's still
Yeah. In the
cool.
big
But
picture, it's
nothing
not
noted.
life changing, but
Yeah, you've
it's
done
changing
something
in your
nobody's done.
life. I mean, it changes you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It
Yeah,
reminds me of the movie Cinderella Man with James Braddock,
I haven't
where
seen.
it's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's a true story about James J. Braddock, the boxer.
Okay.
And he was doing good boxing. The Great Depression happens. He keeps getting hurt. Like some of it's malnutrition, so he keeps breaking his hands. And he gets kicked out. They take his boxing away, like whatever the card or whatever it is.
Hmm.
And then there's a big championship fight, and the guy gets hurt. So his manager sets up a deal like, hey, James Braddock's never been knocked out, marketed as he's going to knock out James Braddock, who's never been knocked out. So he goes and Braddock hasn't been training or nothing. It's the Great Depression. He sold all of his shit. And he's like, hey, you'll make $250, to do this fight. And James is like, oh, thank you, dude. Thank you, man. Because he can't get shifts at the dock and stuff.
Hmm.
His family's living in, almost damn near poverty. And he's trying to work his ass off just to keep his family. So this is like $200. This is like a gift to him.
Yeah.
And so he goes to the fight and he beats the dude. And so it's like crazy. And he thinks like, dude, this is it. This is my last fight. What a way to go out. I'm in Madison Square Garden, a full house. Like, dude, this is a great goodbye.
Hmm.
And so the next day he goes back to the docks. He's got to go to work. And they're only picking certain people, but he gets picked. And the main guy, when he walks in, the main guy's got a newspaper and he's like, hey, Braddock, is this you? And Braddock's like, yeah, it was me. I got a purse. Like I won 250. My end of it was like 170. He goes, we owed 160, so I got $10 for it. And the guy's like, well, that makes you a rich man around here. That's pretty cool or something like that. Okay,
Yeah.
now go to Dock 7.
Yeah.
And it was like, dude, you just did this great thing, but you still have your life.
Yeah.
And then they end up, his manager does a good job of getting him to come back in, and he actually wins the world title after that. But it's a cool story.
Yeah.
But it just reminded me of like it's important and it's a big deal, and I think everybody should push themselves but the outcome in the end is a little bit irrelevant.
Yeah.
There's a journey, whether I don't care if you go, hey man, I want to bench 405. That's your big time goal, to do 405 in a meet. Well, do it. Give it everything you got for, a couple years or whatever it's going to take you. And if you hit it, great. If you don't hit it, you went in and you tried and you gave everything you had, and you're going to learn a shit ton about yourself.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it's going to be worth it. I think most people could probably hit a 305 if they put enough energy into it, or a 405, but
yeah.
And even if it doesn't even really matter to me what your goal is. If you want to run a triathlon, or, I've heard people go, I just want to finish a marathon.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit how long it takes. I just want to finish a marathon. Dude, they learn a lot on that journey.
Oh, for sure.
I can't imagine running, 26 fucking miles or something shit like that.
Yeah. Nothing.
Even when I did run, I didn't want to run. I'd rather run 3 miles as fast as I can than run 26.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. That's insane. Yeah.
It's because I'm a dragster guy.
Yeah.
I went to one NASCAR race, and I tell everybody, I don't care if you even like NASCAR, go to a race. The experience of actually being there in person is pretty crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you don't understand how powerful those cars are and how loud they are.
I need to go to one. We have the Daytona Raceway down 45
Oh
minutes.
yeah, you should go. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you love racing, everybody's watching it on TV in the stadium, because you're
yeah.
Okay. Sit here. All I got to look at is the stands on the other side of the raceway. Yeah. And then you're just like, okay.
Yeah.
Wonder what's going on the other side of the track. So actually watching the racing is hard when you're there, but just the experience, the cars and watching the pit crews, and it's an interesting thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to let you go, sir. We've already been at it for 2 hours. It does not seem like 2 hours.
No, it did not. I was just thinking, it's probably been maybe an hour or so. I was literally just thinking that.
Yeah, that kind of surprised me, seeing 2 hours right there.
Yeah.
Dude, I really appreciate you having you coming on.
Yeah.
Keep me up to date on the Vegas thing.
Okay.
I do have to take care of my client, but
oh yeah. Yeah.
Definitely I'm thinking they're going to be different times.
Yeah.
USAPL and this one, but
yeah, it's this one Saturday the 11th. I think it starts at 10. I'll confirm that, but just to yeah. So I think it starts at 10.
I'm more than willing to help with anything I can help with.
Awesome, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll definitely hit you up.
It's interesting. I posted a thing about my first. I said I was going to let you go. Now I'm telling another story.
Oh, you're good.
About my first 1,000-pound squat.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually traveled from Reno to Vegas, and I went alone. And I was like, fuck, dude, I hope the Diablo guys are there, or I hope somebody's there, because I don't know how I'm going to do this by myself, but I'm going, and I'm going to just do the best I can. And luckily some of the Diablo guys were there, and Jesse helped out a shit ton. I think he handled me pretty much all day. Nice. And so you always find guys, but it's still nice to know. It's nice to know you have, because gear, it's still gear. It's still hard to do all that shit by yourself, man.
Yeah. Well, it's like bench too. You got to get these guys don't know how to hand me off. I've never used them. They might know how to hand off, but I've never used them, so I'm nervous and blah blah blah. So it's
I did one. I just handed off for AJ at a meet not too long ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, let me make sure when you're warming up, let me practice.
Yeah, exactly.
It's I've handed off for lots of guys, but everybody does it a little bit different. And I know with that kind of weight, a bad handoff can really mess shit up, man.
And in the band shirts too. I know he did that in the band. Mm-hmm. He hit that 1,000. It's a whole different setup and all that. So it's tough.
All right, sir. I appreciate you being on. Let's keep in touch.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
You're welcome to come on anytime I don't care.
Yeah. Anytime.
Eventually, when I'm doing a barn dominium, the idea being my living space is going to be the same size as my house. It was little. But I want to expand my gym and set up a better podcast area. So like at some point, if you're out here, if I can get you out here, that would be cool to have you come visit and
that'd be super cool.
Do an in-person podcast and maybe shoot some other kind of training videos or some shit.
Yeah, heck yeah. I'll be down for sure.
That would be fun.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
All right, sir.
Cool.
Until next time.
All right, man.
Thanks for listening to the Courage Barbell Unlimited podcast. For more information, please visit couragebarbell.com. Until next time.